How's it going everyone? WildeThang here and welcome to a brand new Destiny video. In this video I'm going to be talking to you guys about the Fatebringer and the Word of Crota. Now they're both hand cannons that drop in the hard raid modes. So Vault of Glass, you get the Fatebringer after killing the Templar, and you get Word of Crota after killing Atheon on hard mode. Only primary weapons drop on hard mode for Crota's End, if you guys didn't know already. So I wanted to show you the perks of each of the guns and kind of give you an idea as to which one is better or which one I prefer using. Anyway guys, let's have a look at the weapons. So at the moment I have the Fatebringer equipped, so we can do a little bit of a comparison right here off the bat. Now the main difference is obviously both have different attacks. Obviously the Word of Crota's got the higher one, and the Word of Crota is void damage and the Fatebringer is arc damage. And it's obviously great to have both of these in your inventory depending on what you're going up against, because obviously void is great against Vex and then arc is great against the Fallen, so you can switch between the two if needed. Okay, so moving on down to the stats and the perks. Rate of fire is higher on the Word of Crota than it is Fatebringer, but the Fatebringer has more impact and range. Word of Crota has more stability and reloads faster. Magazine is exactly the same, and they do both have explosive rounds on them, which is good. So let me just show you what the Fatebringer has. So we have Steady Hand is stable sight optimized for excellent recoil control. Sure sight is snapshot sight, excellent handling, superb target acquisition. Agile sight, lightning fast handling. Firefly, precision kills with this weapon causes the target to explode, which is awesome. That also gives damage to surrounding enemies if anyone is nearby. Obviously upgrade to damage. Now this gun does have Field Scout, so if you put that on it does only increase it by 1, which I think is pointless, especially when you've got explosive rounds here as well. So yeah, you've got explosive rounds, so volatile payload explodes on impact, dealing a portion of the weapon's damage in an area. Single point sling, switch weapons faster, move quicker while aiming, and obviously that one I just showed you just increases the magazine by 1, putting it up to 13. Outlaw, precision kills with this weapon dramatically increase reload speed, and then the last 4 are upgrades to damage. Now obviously this weapon's from the Vault of Glass, so it does have Oracle Disruptor on it. This weapon deals bonus damage to oracles in the Vault of Glass. Now that is also handy as well. Okay, so moving on to the Word of Crota. Obviously it's void damage like I said, and you can tell by the design that it's from it's from Crota's End, because it's got like the hive kind of bony looking stuff all over it. Steady Hand is stable sight optimized for excellent recoil control. Fast Draw is, or IS, I guess, I don't know, is that is or IS? I've been saying I or is the whole time. Standard sight, a lightweight design, good for recoil control. Short sight is snapshot sight, excellent handling, superb target acquisition. Now I'm pretty sure that's exactly the same as the Fatebringer. Then you have Zen Moment, causing damage with this weapon increases its stability. Upgrade to damage, obviously speed, reload this weapon quickly, so you can obviously increase the reload speed. Hammer Forged, improve range and accuracy. Now there might be better having that instead of explosive rounds, because I feel like the explosive rounds on this gun are not as good as the Fatebringer, I do have to admit. It might be because the damage on it, the damage effect is void instead of arc, I'm not entirely sure. But I know a lot of people have either these two equipped instead of the explosive rounds. Then you've got Phantom Gift, rapidly landing 3 precision hits returns 1 round to the magazine. Then you have the last 4 are upgrades to damage. Now for these 3 you do need the energy that you get from Crota's End, so you can't use Ascendant energy. So yeah, make sure you grab tons of that if you can. Obviously a random drop as everything else is. And as this is a Crota's End gun, it does have Hive Disruptor, so it increases the damage to Hive mages, which is awesome. But then that can also be used throughout the game. It's not specific for Crota's End like the Fatebringer is with the oracles, because obviously oracles only pop up in Vault of Glass. So Hive Disruptor is awesome as well. So personally, I do switch between the two. I mean, I do use Fatebringer a lot more because I use it for a lot more enemies than Void, because Void is only really good against Vex enemies. I do use it in Crota's End just because it does have that higher damage rate, and yeah, it's got a little bit more rate of fire, stability and reload, but obviously the range and impact is quite low. But then you don't really need a lot of range in Crota's End because everything runs at you pretty much, and everything is pretty close, so it doesn't matter too much. So yeah, I use Fatebringer for Vault of Glass, any strikes that I'm doing if I'm not upgrading any other weapons. Fatebringer is my go-to hand cannon. As you can see here, I do have Hawkmoon now, so I'll be upgrading that as well, but obviously that takes up an exotic slot, so you can't put on your Galahorn or whatever, or Icebreaker. So anyway guys, that is the Word of Crota and Fatebringer. I'm just going to quickly kill some enemies with each weapon, just so you can see what the weapons are like, and if we get any explosive rounds going off, you can see what that's like as well. So I'm just going to mosey on over here, see if we can find some enemies. Let's just go kill these guys. I mean, the Fatebringer looks a lot better than the Word of Crota anyway. Who's shooting at me? So yeah, it's pretty good, even firing from the hip. So I'm just going to kill a couple more with this one. Yeah, as you can see, everything pretty much explodes with one hit. See, that was awesome. See, the explosion on the Fatebringer looks a lot bigger than the Word of Crota. I don't know if that's just me, but that explosion was massive. And then when I switched to the Word of Crota, you'll see that you don't really get a big explosion. I don't know if that's because of the damage element or effects that you have, which is Void. I don't know if Void really doesn't have an explosive kind of attack, as to speak. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but anyway guys, I'll switch to the Word of Crota just so you can see if we get any explosive stuff. So I'm going to go up here because there's usually some enemies wandering around here. See that? They do explode, but it's not really that big. And that's more like on the impact. They don't... I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, the explosion with the Fatebringer looked a lot bigger than with this Word of Crota. Oh, we have some enemies there. I'm going to quickly run over here, shoot these guys, and then hopefully we'll see some bigger explosions, because everyone likes explosions, don't they? Everyone. But yeah, I have to say, the explosion on the Fatebringer is a lot bigger. Yeah. Oh, it's still got an explosion, but the Fatebringer is a lot bigger. So obviously it's going to cause a lot more damage to any enemies that are nearby, which is always awesome. And also, I think it's given us a kind of a little hint as to what hand cannon we're going to be getting in the House of Wolves. It's blatantly going to be a solar pistol or solar hand cannon. That's my thoughts anyway. Don't quote me on that. It might be completely different, but it's just the fact that we've got an arc hand cannon from Vault of Glass and then the Void one from Crota's End. So I'm guessing it's going to be a solar one, which would be freaking awesome. So we'd have one of each effect. It would just be perfect. But that's my thoughts anyway. I mean, it could be completely different. We could get... maybe they might even add a new element, which I hope they don't, but you never know with Bungie. They do like to surprise us. Anyway guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next one. Enemies, so you can see what it's like against them. Like I said, it is quite fun to use and I do like the sound of it. But... the rate of fire, as you can see, that dude just exploded, and if he did that near enemies then it would hurt the enemies near them. But I would say it needs a upgrade to